Okay, okay, alright. Okay, alright. Alright. Testing. 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 Alright, well, welcome to the stream. Gonna be playing a little Fallout 3 over top of it. But I just want to talk about Fallout 76 just in general. How's everything sound?
Sorry, Brent Austin. I was trying to figure this shit out. I just figured out how to do stuff.
No, it's no problem.
I found out how to use a controller for Gary's mod, so I'm kind of like messing around with it right now.
Yeah, I just bought an adapter recently for that.
So currently I'm trying to play around with it a little bit on the server I'm on.
Alright, well, I'm just sitting here. I'm doing Fallout. I'm playing Fallout 3. I got it working on my computer. I was just gonna like just generally talk about this shit.
Let's see, demos, add-ons.
This is a high
Well,
priority
exactly
message.
what we
Backup is
do.
needed at our location.
What do you mean?
Any personnel
Like,
listening on this frequency, please report at once.
For like the
You want
conversation.
something?
No, just generally just like talk about anything really. Like I'm mostly just gonna go over shit from like what was it? QuakeCon. They went over a lot of shit in QuakeCon. They're really fucking. I'm streaming right now, by the way. Just.
Oh. All right then. I did not know that. What did they go over?
Hold on. Okay, I can hear you on the stream. They went over like a bunch of different things, like mostly stuff about like the perks and other stuff. It's based around cards, almost like Battlefront 2's star cards.
Okay.
They went over them. They said that the level cap for like earning perk points is 50, but you can still keep going to collect more cards. Oh. Oh! Who the fuck is this guy? Sorry. Getting attacked by a random guy with a sniper rifle. But they went over that the level cap is 50 for earning perk points, so you can have 10 in all special attributes, but you can have any amount of perk cards just in your inventory. You're allowed to have 15 perk cards just in general on your 15 perk cards on your special level. Like say you want 15 different cards on strength, you can have that, but you can't go over. You see what I mean?
I got you.
Another thing that they said was they talked about perk packs, which kind of, when I heard that, like me and a lot of people were like, oh no, like is it gonna be you could buy the perk packs? And people are thinking like, oh, maybe you can just buy the perk packs. Other people are like, no, Bethesda wouldn't do that. And I'm kind of like on that side. I'm kind of going with a little bit of optimism for it. But the way that they explained it was every 2 levels up to level 10, you earn a perk pack, which gives you 4 random cards. Like, you don't have to choose them, you just get them.
I'd like to have a chat.
4 random cards and a pack of gum. Now, the 4 cards are completely random. Like, you can get Lone Wanderer, Commando, and other such crap. And they also said that like the perks can be upgraded, like just like Fallout 4. Like say you want, alright, you got Lone Wanderer here. You want to upgrade Lone Wanderer to be stronger. You can pick the same perk again, same perk card again, and that'll get more powerful. But the thing to balance that is they gave it you get a certain amount of TGM, says Simon God. Now I'm trying not to use console commands, but they have in order to balance it so you won't just have like max upgraded cards. It was you get points, like perk points. So the more you upgrade a card, the more points it'll cost to have equipped. And you can swap them out at any time. So say you're like, okay, I was using Lone Wanderer, but now I want to use Medic or something, because I'm helping with the team and Lone Wanderer is not helpful anymore. You could do stuff like that.
I got you.
And the one thing that really interested me, oh god, that was a grenade. The one thing that interested me though is they're really like punishing griefers. Like the way that they said that PvP combat's gonna go is you can initiate combat, like somebody can walk up to you and start shooting at you, but it won't do much damage. It'll be more like a slap. It'll be like a little slap, and it won't do much damage.
Okay.
So if you choose to like, okay, you're like, all right, this guy's getting annoying. You can shoot back at him. As soon as you do that, then you'll do full damage. And you can just, or you could just disengage that completely. You could just not do it. But if they persist and they end up killing you with that, if they kill you by doing the little damage, just constantly hitting you, they get a bounty placed on their heads. And if somebody like comes after them, if say they kill you, they get the bounty on their head. Somebody goes after them for that bounty and kills them. They get a large amount of caps, and the griefer has to pay that bounty, so they lose, say, like 1,200 caps for that bounty. So they're essentially punishing griefing, but rewarding PvP, like actual, like, I'm ready to PvP. Also, hello from Russia. Is this Simon?
Hello. Here's my question, and I'm sure they probably covered it when it comes down to everything else. See, See, this kind of like almost happened in the Division, where they tried to put in a punishment system for griefers. Not griefers, but people that were basically going rogue in the Dark Zone. And all it pretty much did was make people want to go rogue even more, because they used to find glitches and spots and locations that would make life a living hell for people. I mean, Bethesda knows that, yes, they have their faithful Fallout fans, which is most of us.
Yeah.
But they know people are still going to use the system. We're going to find a way around it. They're going to not play legitly, and they're going to sneak around and do evil things.
Well, the way that they were talking about it is they said during playtests, the way that they saw most griefers going about doing things was, they would say you were fighting a monster, you were shooting at a Snallygaster. The griefer would run in front of you to make you initiate combat, and they would fire back and kill you. So it makes you look like you're the griefer, or you're initiating combat, so you get the punishment. And they said the way that they basically went about getting around this is they made it so you can choose to go into the sort of passive mode, almost like Grand Theft Auto, but more effective. Meaning people can still hit you and do the slaps that I mentioned, but they don't. But like you can't do damage to them, so you can't accidentally initiate combat with people. So people can't like exploit you running in front of them, sort of like the Division, the way the Division was. Because I'll say that happened a lot in the fucking Division.
That happened a good amount of the time, where everybody was starting to get tired of it and won't leave the damn game. I know it was one of the reasons why I got tired of the PvP zone.
Yeah.
I mean, my concern is this, and again, being a long time at Bethesda, is they're going to have their best at heart. They're going to hope that people are going to be respectful, they're going to be polite, they're going to be nice.
There's always going to be assholes. Let's just face it.
And that's one of the main issues, is that people could find a way to screw with other players. They're going to.
And they definitely will. Like it's inevitable. People are gonna find a way to exploit other players. Oh, here's another way. So this is something that I just remembered. So you remember how they said that everyone will be visible to everybody on the map?
Yes.
If you have a bounty on your head, you cannot see anybody. Like nobody shows up on your map, no matter if they're sneaking or not. So you won't know how many people are coming after you if people are coming after you. You won't know where they're coming from. You won't know where or how many, how powerful. None of that. So it really puts you at a disadvantage if you decide to just be a complete jerk-off to people. Which I heard that, I was like, that sounds actually kind of cool. Still there, Will?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Alright.
I mean, it could be because there is so many PvP games that have tried to go a certain way with this stuff. I mean, Fallout is definitely trying to get used to... I mean, we all knew we wanted a Fallout that was going to be multiplayer. I mean, there was works and whispers of it for a long time. I mean, as long as there's been Fallout games, there's always been someone who wanted to see you play with other players, play with other friends, you know?
Yeah. I mean, granted, co-op wasn't... Or, not co-op. PvP wasn't exactly what I wanted. But I see what Bethesda was doing. They're like, well, if you could just power through with 2 people in power armor, what's the point?
Exactly. I mean,
All right, local, mind. Well, isn't that?
that's my only concern when it comes to PvP.
Yeah, that people will just exploit it.
You want to talk?
Exactly. I mean, I want to play against other players. It's gonna be fun because I mean, you can only imagine what the end game's gonna be like. I mean, if Bethesda continues with their wonderful line of monsters that do horrific things, that are big, ugly, huge, you know, mean as anything, then I'm sure we will all enjoy them. I'm sure we will have a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment out of the game. I mean, that's not the doubt.
Keep your weapon.
Yeah, the way that they said, they're like, oh no, it's not. This isn't going to reflect any of the games in the future. Like, it's not going to be like multiplayer for every game after this. It's gonna go back to its single player. They just wanted to try something with it, and then go from there.
Exactly.
I mean, if they were gonna go like, oh, they're gonna pull an EA and only make multiplayer games from here out.
No, they wouldn't do that. They know they would get so much crap for that.
Yeah.
I need to talk to you.
I mean, they were speaking about. They're like, oh no, it's all like all of our games are gonna go back to first, like, player 1. It's not like, I don't see this being inherently bad unless they can't get the balance down. I mean, one of the scenarios that I keep thinking of is, what if somebody just decides, like, they're like, oh, there's a person, let's just fire a mini nuke at them.
Here he is.
And if that doesn't kill you instantly,
Thank you, Defender. Give us a moment, please.
Sir, I'm going to say again that I don't like this idea.
Noted, Defender. That'll be
you get what I
all.
mean?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
sir.
no, I mean,
So you're the one Morel sent.
I'm one of those people
I'll
that I want the multiplayer. I'm looking forward to the
So-
multiplayer.
I'll-
It's just,
Record.
there's concerns. I mean, there's concerns on everybody.
It's
Thoughts.
the liberation.
I mean, on the Discord I'm part of,
Keep
the modder
moving,
one,
local.
that I'm not naming names of things now, the one that I'm like, because of the mods are awesome. They've talked about it. I mean, they were stressed about it, a lot of people. They weren't sure what was going to happen. Like, a lot of people were saying, what if this turns out to be a buffle of some sort? What if this doesn't turn out to be what they wanted? I mean, Bethesda's is doing something new for them. They're doing something new for what Fallout is. And the issue is, people aren't sure what to make of it. I mean, it
Knock,
happened
knock,
to the
Owen.
Elder Scrolls
Got a new
Online,
best friend for you.
and that's the concern.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's hope you treat this one.
They
better
don't
than
want
the last
they don't want
guy.
it turning into
Go
something
to hell,
that's
Sibley. You know
dog
that
shit.
wasn't my fault.
Sure. whatever.
Exactly.
Just make some progress, okay? We're all looking to get
I
out of
mean,
here.
that's the concern they're
Fine,
having,
then
and I
get
can
out and let me do
understand
my
that
job.
concern, but I mean, this might be a nice step forward for Fallout. We've never seen a multiplayer Fallout. We've never seen Fallout where it's not just a lonely wasteland with AI that look at you and say the same thing over and over.
You're here
It's
to help.
actual characters that are players.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
know,
Yeah.
Things have been
that
tense.
actually
I
will look at
shouldn't
you
be
and say, "Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the frontier. You ready to die?"
forget-
I mean, shh. We're not all gonna kill you at all.
Lost.
Yeah, it's not like, not everyone's gonna be a complete jerk off to everyone in the world. There's gonna be people who are going to roleplay it, which I think is
Yes.
awesome. Of course, there's always gonna be the assholes that are just gonna be like, oh, well, let me go out and kill people, or try to. But they're seeming to try to de-incentivize that, so that way you can just, that way people will just be like, oh, okay,
Hey, wake up.
um.
Snap out.
Like, if people don't want to fight, they aren't going to. They aren't made to fight.
When your shoe punched up like that, I thought you were.
Exactly.
Hope the other guys made. I don't think their patrol spotted us coming in. So at least we still have the jump on it. You still have your gear. So I'm gonna
mean-
let you make the call. You can go in quiet. Or guns
There are
blazing.
people who enjoy
Still meet at
the
the
simple
rendezvous.
concept of PvE.
and we'll blow those
which,
artillery guns down.
again, it's
Just
what we're
watch
used to. It's what Fallout has been known
Reds up
for.
here don't take prisoners.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, if there's one reason that I love playing Fallout is because I enjoy just going through destroying raiders to the sound of 1940s music.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to turn on my mods. But I just like. It's like sometimes I think people just kind of overreact. They kind of jump on like a fear bandwagon. They're like, oh god, it's gonna be awful if it's something like this. I don't think it's gonna be like that.
The question is, can you believe them nowadays?
Can you, huh?
The honest question is, can you blame them though nowadays? With all the games that have come out that are new additions of what we used to love, where they add multiplayer to them or take away elements that people were used to.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, but it's like sometimes this hysteria is just like kind of ludicrous.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, there are definitely choices that turn out really great and choices that turn out really bad.
I can understand being afraid for a game, like being concerned, like, oh, maybe it's not gonna be what we all expect it to be. But I don't think you should go and say like, oh, let's just not buy the game because it's not the way we want it, or something like that.
No, exactly. I mean, I'm all for 76. I love it. I love the fact that it's in the Virginia mountains and I can do horrific things than in doing fight things that are trying to kill me. You know, I love that concept.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the creatures are really interesting to me. I mean, it's like, because I always watch like the stupid shows like Mountain Monsters and stuff like that, and where the goofballs run up and go up to the mountains and shoot guns on private property. It's the funniest thing to me.
I mean, Virginia folklore, along the lines of Appalachian folklore in general, is because it's all Native American folklore, has so much cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's some stuff dating back to even the early settlers. I mean, there's documentation from not just pilgrims, but from Union soldiers about creatures that they discovered during their missions, and they describe them as these grotesque creatures. They can't explain, like ape creatures. Like it didn't happen in Virginia, but it happened along the lines near the areas. I forget where, but there was a story about a group of Native American soldiers, Native American Union soldiers who were trained in the Union Army, who their commanding officer was part Native American, part white, and they respected him because he was very loyal to his soldiers, very loyal to his men. And one day they discovered, they were sent to find out these children who were missing. Apparently their bodies they were taken in the night. It was a local town, local settlement. So they go out to track down what happened. You know, they have a lot of expert trackers on their in their regiment, so they go out and find out what's going on. They find broken bones, bodies, flesh. They find the dead children, and they find these creatures that are literally described as Sasquatch from what they describe them as. And the commanding officer, the captain, he charges after the things and stabs him in anger and ends up getting his head ripped off by one of the other creatures. And then the other soldiers to a firing line and shoot the crap out of him, killing the creatures on sight.
Yeah.
And it's all documented. Like the Native American soldiers just literally lit them up with the training they had. I mean, there's other stories like that. There's just of military, civilian personnel just encountering things that can't explain.
Yeah, I mean, it's all really interesting. The one thing that I really enjoyed looking up, like researching, was the Wendigo.
Oh.
Like just listening to shit on that. It was really interesting. I mean, granted, some of the things are different. I mean, the design like the idea, the appearance of it was kind of more of a like an animalistic looking in the Native American.
That there are a couple versions of it. One
Yeah.
of the main, I know most people know of the Wendigo nowadays from Until Dawn. Was that the?
Yeah, Until Dawn.
But it's interesting creature because it's described in Native American folklore where it is part subhuman of some type. But it's not really the creature itself that's terrifying. It's the effects that it can have on the human psyche.
Yeah, because it was like said that if a human is real close to it, the human can turn itself into a Wendigo.
Yes, they can turn into a cannibalistic killer.
Like they don't have to get bitten, they don't have to get they don't have to eat other humans. They'll just turn in from exposure.
Exactly, and it's really interesting stuff. I mean, from what Bethesda has really went and known for using a lot of classic Americana, you know, in a lot of their games because of what Fallout's known for. Even before Bethesda took it over, there was a lot of classic Americana in Fallout from the old CDs.
Yeah.
They're going full-blown American folklore, legends, myths, monsters, creatures, culture. I mean, I know we talked about this at work before, but even just adding a Mothman creature is fascinating because here are my thoughts on that creature. This is why I like it so much. That creature, out of all the local Virginia folklore, one of the few creatures that has not been fully documented at all or even covered outside of Virginia. It's a local folklore of this creature that literally has been around since, again, early programs. They say again, it could be possibly a harbinger of doom, possibly a spirit of, you know, warning people of tragedy to come, some type of alien, some type of monster. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
heck,
I don't know, like the only thing that I've ever seen on it is maybe like it can hypnotize people, and other than that, like I don't really ever hear of any actual like attacks, whereas it injured people or it went out of its way to harm anybody or anything. The only thing it ever did was appear on the Silver Bridge before it collapsed.
yes, and the only time you actually hear anything is when you watch the Sci-Fi Channel movies. I hate to death, so it's fine anymore. They turn them into like some type of horrific monster, but no, it's one of those creatures that it doesn't have as much coverage as the Yeti, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, or other creatures in folklore. Like, this is one of those creatures that's fascinating, and I really do hope they just don't make it where it's some generic, no-named or named creature that you kill and then done with. Like, I hope it stays as some type of maybe story event, DLC, some type of creature that just kind of always follows you but never actually engages unless you engage it first.
I'm kind of hoping it's sort of they take it in a path of it's sort of like Nemesis, like from Resident Evil, whereas he's always there. Like you could defeat him, but he'll appear again.
Right back to the Great Wall if I
Which, I mean, would not be such a bad idea. I mean, again,
because like they said in like the No Clip documentary, they were talking about the Mothman, and they said they were hoping to have him in stages, whereas once you leave, when you leave the vault, maybe he's just stalking you, and you can see like red eyes out in the distance, stuff like that. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds pretty cool. So it's like stuff like that kind of interests me. Plus all the different weapons. The weapons that they have shown off are like crazy. Like they got the MG42, the 50 caliber machine gun.
Come, we're crossing that pipe. And here I thought I was
Like just the fact that you can just have these. One of the things that they showed off in the Gamescom thing was a crossbow. Like they just showed off a crossbow in the thing during one of the perk showcases. So I'm like, ooh, so maybe it's gonna have like, it's gonna have like explosive arrows, or you can use that as a stealth weapon, stuff like that. And I don't think we've ever seen a crossbow in Fallout.
Besides from mod, no, we haven't really.
Yeah, besides from like the crossbows of the Commonwealth, stuff like that. I mean, Elder Scrolls had crossbows, like Skyrim had crossbows, but that was just about it. So I think that's pretty. I think it's pretty cool. Now, the another thing they went over when they were doing the stream is what charisma is going to be used for, which a lot of people have been questioning. Even I was questioning it. Like, how the hell are we going to use charisma? And the way that they described it is charisma is based around your team. Like, all right. So say you have Scrounger and you have high charisma. If you have Scrounger, your team will also benefit from Scrounger. They'll still collect more ammunition. And in that, if you have high charisma, like say you have 10 charisma, and you also have Scrounger, your team will get more ammunition. But if you have low, like 5 charisma, and but you still have Scrounger, you they'll still get ammo, but they won't get as much. You get what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's what I picked up from it.
Through this next structure is the entrance to the artillery base. I don't know what they got waiting for us.
So all in all, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's very many fears that I honestly have left besides the PvP shit. But even hearing like it's like they're how punishing. Oh, my game's crashing. How punishing it is. Scheiße. Just lost the stream.